I am going to show you how to use Facebook's data to build a target audience for your music. Let's go. What's up, guys? AC Evan here with Artist Collective, and we are here giving independent musicians the tips and resources needed to build their business from the ground up. You want more fans, you want to make more money, and you just ultimately want to streamline your business to make it easy and simple for you. So if you enjoy content like that, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, check out some of our other videos, and also head to artistcollect.com where you can find out more about our services. But in this video today, I'm going to show you a little Facebook hack. All right, so every time a user likes something on Facebook and gives that data to Facebook, whether it be what college they graduated from, what job they have, and what other pages they like, Facebook is actually learning more and more and more about that user. And there's billions of users on there. So you can actually tap into that data to help you build your target audience of your music, to find out what other artists they like, where else they're spending their time online, and what other content they're already consuming and enjoying. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use that through a system called Facebook Audience Insights. Let's do it. All right, so to get started building a target audience using Facebook and the built-in algorithm Facebook has, you're first going to go to business.facebook.com. And just a heads up, it can be a little overwhelming in there. As you can see on my screen, there are a lot of different tabs that you can go to. So don't get overwhelmed too bad. You're going to go to the top left corner and hit Audience Insights. This is where we're going to live for this particular video when we're trying to figure out who you should target. So this one, you're going to want to say everyone on Facebook, because what we're doing here is we are gathering data from everybody around the world or a specific country that you're targeting, but you don't want it to be just people that are connected to your page, because we want to find new fans, right? So everyone on Facebook. So a quick rundown of what you're seeing on this screen is you are going to be able to tap into Facebook's, like I said, their algorithm. Every time a user signs up for Facebook and likes a certain page, whether it's an artist or a website or just a public figure, it gathers that data and it keeps it, and it basically starts to learn what other things that you like. Also, how old you are, all the data that you're actually putting into Facebook, it's storing that. And as scary and as creepy as that sounds, you're actually able to tap into that as a Facebook user, a business user to be exact. But you're able to tap into that to get a better idea of where else particular fans and people are spending their time on Facebook in particular, but just in general on the internet. So we're going to tap into that. We're going to use that. So instead of you just saying, yeah, people, like my music, if they like the Lumineers, great. How can we dive deeper into that? What other bands that you may not even be aware of, where else are they spending their time? What else are they listening to? Things like that. So let's go here. You're going to type in right here in the left. This is where you type in the information, like what location you're trying to tap into. Is it just the US? Is it Europe? Is it the United Kingdom? Is it all the Australia? Things like that. That's what I would put in here. I call those green light countries. Countries that are specifically not overridden by like bots, because we want real people, right? We want accurate information. So I'm just going to keep the United States right now, but I would typically put in all of those green light countries, and I can include that list of green light countries in the description below. You're going to say, let's just keep the age, 18 and above. That's perfect. This is what we really want, the interests. So from your knowledge, from asking friends, from asking family members, I would get a small list of at least start with five to 10 artists that you and your close friends and family think that you sound like. And I think it's really important to ask others what they think as well, because, you might be a little too close to it, or you may, don't want to be compared to Justin Bieber, but everybody's like, yo, you really kind of do sound like him. So ask around a little bit, have a nice list, a handful of artists that you think that you sound like, so that we can start with that. Okay. I'm just going to throw this one out because I used that just now. The band The Lumineers, remember that song Ho Hey? So Lumineers. So not every band, artist, public figure is going to be listed here. It basically, they have to have enough traction so they can gather data from them. If it's a small page, it's not going to be listed. So you want a little sweet spot. You don't want them too gigantic. Like, we wouldn't want to put Drake in here, and I can show you what that would look like. So Lumineers is a good happy medium. When I talk about target audiences and like marketing situations, I like to think of, you're fishing. You don't want to go fishing in an ocean, right? You want to mainly fish in the marketing target audience realm in like a pond or a lake. So this would be a lake, a large lake here. So the Lumineers, it says music artist right here. That's what we want. So here it's going to show the age and gender of, so specifically on Facebook, this is saying everybody who likes the Lumineers on Facebook. Here's, a general chart of how old they are, what their relationship status is, what their education level is, even down to the job title. So if you really want to dive into the marketing realm and be like, okay, most of my audience is, blue collar workers. Most of my audience works in marketing. That's really deep stuff, deep cuts right there. But I'm specifically just worried about what other artists do they listen to. So let's go over here at the top to page likes. Let this load. So this is showing us, cool, everybody who likes the Lumineers on Facebook. Here are typically the other categories and other pages that they're also liking, AKA spending their time, AKA part of your target audience as well. So this is what I call a super audience. So Lumineers would be at the top. When we're creating this super audience, Lumineers would be at the top, and we're going to list maybe 5 to 10 more artists underneath the Lumineers in that one audience. So you see here in the categories, it's landmark and historical places, outdoor and sporting goods company, musicians and band. We're going to go back to that. Government organizations, journalists, clothing brands. Let's specifically talk about other artists. Okay, you could go real deep and put all the blogs that they also like, but I just want to hyper focus into other artists. So let's scroll down a little bit farther. We're going to go to this affinity metric. It's essentially, this is just grouping them into categories. This is grouping them into, most people that like the Lumineers on Facebook also like the Head and the Heart. That's another band, if you're not familiar with them. So you see the affinity metric here. Most people like them as well. So I would list them as number 2. So the Head and the Heart, what you can do is you can secondary click. Always just go over and just make sure it's the right artist that you're thinking of. A lot of times you'll bring this up and be like, I don't know what that artist is or what this page is. Poke around a little bit. Make sure that it's really what you want. And it is. So I would list Lumineers, number 1. Head and the Heart, number 2. The Avett Brothers, the Civil Wars. I'm not familiar with the Old Crow Medicine Show. I don't think that it's a band, but we're going to check. It is a band. See, right there. That's a great example. I didn't even know about them. So you only know what you know, right? So from this list, I would say Lumineers, Head and the Heart, Avett Brothers, Civil Wars, Old Crow Medicine Show, Young the Giant, Vance Joy. So you see almost all of these right here are artists. So I would just copy and paste those, put that into a list, and now you have your super audience. You have everything that you need to go under the Lumineers. What you would then do is you would take that data and you would put it into, what kind of content will you be making? Go to all of these pages, look at what the content that people are engaging with on there, because if this is your audience, you want to maybe make content that's similar to it, something that you know is already working. You can test. And most importantly, you can take this data and put it right back into Facebook when it's time and you're ready to start running ads. whether it's, ads for $10 or $10,000 or $1 million. This data is so useful, especially because it's coming from Facebook. You're able to feed it back to it the same data and say, okay, target all these people because we really sound like the Lumineers and all of these other artists. Let's hyper target, so make sure we flood their feed. So we put our content in front of those people to give them a chance to check us out. So let's do one more example. I use the example as Drake and why that may not be very accurate for you. And I'm going to show you why. So all of those other ones on the Lumineers, they're like all in the pond lake analogy here. They're not super huge like Justin Bieber or Drake, for instance, but they're not so not known that they're not even going to be shown here. So Drake comes up a bunch of different times. So as you see here, Drake, it's actually not as bad as I was expecting, but you see how it can get very muddy, as in it's not as targeted. Notice that it's target audience, not just audience. So you get into like XXL magazine and something so giant. Actually, let's use another example because Drake isn't actually that bad. I think Justin Bieber is one that comes up where it's like, yeah, we want it a little more targeted than that. Yeah, I mean, you see some of the things because so many people like Justin Bieber and these giant artists on Facebook and everywhere that the data isn't as targeted. It's very much an ocean because you see here like let's see, like IKEA. Okay, I'm not going to target everybody who goes to IKEA. That's just so massive. McDonald's comes up in another one that I've seen. Like you're not going to target that. Even other artists where Justin Timberlake might come up, or you want it as focused and as targeted as possible so that you're not just like throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. For sure that they're going to like your content based on how it's a little bit smaller of an audience. Now, if you have a bunch of little ponds and lakes, so you have the Lumineers and you have 7 to 10 other super audiences made, you're going to have much better luck with your marketing than targeting giant artists. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have tons of other videos to help you build your music career. And if you're needing some extra support in terms of branding, this is a part of my branding method for music business. And if you're an Artist Collective member, you're going to get that entire course with your membership. You can find out more information at artistcollect.com and join today. Peace.